Hello, hello. I'm McDonaugh from Novoda, and we specialize in fantastic, amazing Android applications. And we are mainly developers. I'm one UX designer now, and we have been making Android apps for a yonki, which is in technical terms 5 years. And in that time, we came to like conclusions on how to best develop applications. And mobile applications are all about what you can do by yourself, and they're like little functional entry points into something, very small, unique tasks. And you have to think about like the situation of one person trying to do one specific thing, as opposed to a tablet. And a tablet is where you've got more than one person, because more than one person can see this. It's not just personal to you. It can be shared. You can show it over here. So it's like more than one person can have their hands on the screen. It's a more magazine-like experience. And then TVs are everybody viewing this stuff. And these situations are all the things you should consider when you're doing your design. Our design process isn't like I used to be a designer, and a long time ago, and I would work in a design process where the designer would work on something, and then he'd throw it over the wall, and then it would get developed and it would go all the way down the waterfall method. But we work iteratively, so that means that we think of we identify all the people and the problems and the design and the development. We do that all in a continuous cycle all the time, and it's not something that is just for designers to do. Like, developers should be thinking in this mindset as well. And design, people sometimes get really mixed up what the difference is between art and design and UX and illustration. And so I just want to make very clear what the differences are. Design is a learned skill. Like, you can be very good at design. You can have your flair in design. But design has rules. There are rules in design which, if you respect, then you're not going to mess it up as badly as if you didn't respect them. So if you have a foundation of those rules, then you're only going to be as bad as that base foundation, which is pretty awesome. So you just learn all the basic rules, and then you've got quite a good design, which is different from art, which is art you're trying to interpret situations in a very unique and to yourself way. UX is a subcategory of design where it's concerned with the user experience and how the user is going to experience a particular content which is designed for that particular experience. And so wireframing is all about how you can respect the situation in which the user is occupying, and design the experience for them to use it best. So that would be on a mobile phone. It would be designing the experience to work very quickly and to get to the utility and the purpose that it's supposed to do very quickly. Or on a tablet, it's not about necessarily just quickly. It's a more entertaining experience. It's something you're spending a little bit more leisure time. And on a TV, it's something which is for everybody. And all these things are what we've got to consider. Wireframing is a really great tool for you to explore your design early on. And I'm sure lots of you have done wireframing, but let's to be clear what wireframing is. It's identifying that situation and chunking functionality on the screen to make the things which are the most important to that screen stand out and be accessible at that point in time. And it's trying to take all of the many concerns of a particular situation and chunk them in a way which is a bit weird. Being locked in. Yeah. Wireframing it's a really cheap exercise. If you mock up something, mock-ups are really expensive. They take lots of time. And mock-ups look just like the end goal. Mock-ups can look like the end app. And lots of people spend lots and lots of time making their mock-ups pixel perfect. Like it's going to look like this, and it's going to look amazing. And if you spend all that time on your mock-up looking pixel perfect before you've ever done wireframes, you're really missing a huge opportunity. You're missing a huge opportunity to remove the artistic side from the design side. And the design is like designing that experience, chunking, using rules to make that foundation. If you've got like a really well designed foundation on which on top you make it look beautiful and pixel perfect, then it just like achieves many times over what the original intention was. Whereas if you make something look pixel perfect, it can be still useless. So wireframing is to make sure that you've got that really strong foundation of logical purpose to everything that the user is doing at that point in time. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of the context in Android, and because it's something you have to consider when you're chunking that information together. How are you going to chunk it together? Because the context matters. Like if you're making an iPhone app, then you should be using like iPhone controls, and if you're using an Android app, then you should be using Android theming and controls, and same with Windows and whatever. And back in 1.6 days, all of the chunky buttons were very quaint, and they all looked like like buttons. That's what they looked like. And then we moved on, and we started making some patterns, and we were thinking about how we could chunk the logical purpose of the information together, and we came up with the dashboard pattern, which was taking all of the activity, all of the main purposes of the application, and then putting a common entry point to them all on the screen. And that was great. But then when we moved past that, we realized that actually it's even better if you can just like go one step further and just give them an entry point into the main information straight away. And so we kind of saw the death of dashboards. All dashboards moved away. Dashboards are supposed to give you instant access to all of the functionality, but using the new controls and using the menu button, you could give like access to that in a different way. And then Ice Cream Sandwich brought about the hollow theme, and hollow is like it's a design language. It's a way that you're supposed to understand how to approach the design of your applications. I really like the way that it was described by the head of UX at Google, the guy who had the lion's share in the say on Hollow. What's his name? Matthias Duarte. That's it. And he said he compared it to iPhone and iOS and Android. He said in iOS is like it's like the arts and crafts movement. It's like trying to give flair to everything, trying to make everything beautiful, trying to make everything like a teacup beautiful, trying to make a clock beautiful, everything beautiful, and it's trying to like give that artistic flourish to everything. But if you've got a house full of everything combating for your attention, then it can be a very busy house. Whereas Android is trying to go the complete opposite direction, where it's trying to like remove all the necessary noise from the utility and purpose of an application, just right down to the core elements and its base design. So in Android now, really, if you know the components, you're trying to like completely remove all noise apart from the core purpose of your application. And if you can make it really, really, really super bare and be in the position where, oh, this is boring, well done. Well done. You're in a really good position to innovate with your application. There are many design patterns on Android, which if you get to know, then you can innovate around using. And it's very important to realize about the back button and the system home and the reasons. These things are built into every phone, and people are used to them, so you have to work with them. That's not on the screen correctly. But yeah, once you know all the controls, you can start to really innovate around them. So I'm going to talk about how we use our working process at Novoda to use wireframes. And this is how we actually work on applications. First of all, we work with a company, or we go into the company's business, and we say to these guys, like, what are you doing in your business? And we really want to know what you're doing. It's not about making an app. It's never about making an app. If someone comes to you and they just say, I want an app, and you're asking, they just tell you, just make an app for this business. They don't really understand why. It's all about return on investment. An app's just a utility, it's just a tool. So why do you need an app? So we go into a business and we talk with everyone, and we try and make these things called personas. And personas are like they're how we understand the client. And we try to make personas to represent different aspects of our clients. So we would go in here, and this is trying to say we characterize the business purpose of those individuals, and we make someone. So I'm going to make someone right now. And before I came here, this is going to be a hackathon. So a lot of people will think, well, we don't need to design anything right now. If you're a developer, and I'm a developer here, so you don't need to design anything because it'll take too long. But it won't take long, and the reason I know it won't take long is because just before I came here, I made an app in like 20 minutes. It was about 20 minutes. So this is the process of that 20 minutes, and I'm going to talk you through it. I came up with a character. I wanted to make fun, so I was like, who's fun? Mr. T. Mr. T is fun. Okay, so he would be in my business situation. Mr. T has contacted us from the A-team, and he said, Kev, really needs an Android app. I'm like, okay, cool, team, let's do this. I have to understand my user. And what we do with our customers is we make user stories. So the first part of the user story is user, and that would be Mr. T, can do this to achieve this. And we make hundreds of these during the course of a project, and we prioritize what the application should do. This is before we've ever touched a wireframe, and this really helps us clarify in our mind. Mr. T can access missions to find damage and distress. Mr. T can find machinery to make custom vehicles, and he can locate fools to pity them. So that means that we need these three key things. I have saw that we need these key things in these wireframes. We need missions, we need contacts, and we need a map. Then you'll be happy. So our wireframes are really, really like bare bones, scribbly, and they don't have to be artistic in any way. You don't have to use a special tool. I don't use special tools. I just use whiteboards, and I encourage all the developers to help and draw over them all the time. It's just like it's a very collaborative process. We're not looking to make it precious to any one person, and then they come out of the room and ta-da, wireframes. It's an iterative process, and we're looking for feedback and trying to make it as refined as possible. And this is something everyone can do. It's not design. It's design. It's a science. So I started off with missions. So I know I've got missions. So I made a list, and I was like, okay, but we have to search the list. So I stuck in the action bar. Sticking an action bar on everything you do in Android is like base. It's number one. It's the first thing you do. So got the action bar. I've got my missions. I can search my missions, but I need to make a map as well. So on another screen, I'll have a map, and I'll put little waypoints on the map, little pins. And so now that I've got a map and I've got my missions, I guess I can use a tab. So I've got two tabs, so I can tab between the map and the list. We're not gonna think about how annoying it is to develop a map and a list and a view page or something just now. We're just gonna think about how we're gonna do it, right? Okay. So I've got a map and a list, and I'll just put my search there, and now, blah, that's my whole application. But I need to have my contacts as well for all the people, for the missions, and so I've got this other screen for contacts. Okay, So maybe I want to be able to access both the contacts and the missions, so I'll put like a control so I can browse the whole of the application at the same time. So I've got a spinner. I've got a spinner so I can browse the whole of this application. But then I'm like, well, wait a minute. I've got the contacts over there, and I've got a map. But I'm sure I could mix the map with those as well. I want to be able to switch between the fools and the damsels. So I can't put. I've got lost. So I want to switch between these two views. So I put an action element up here, so I can switch the two views. And then I made it so you could put a spinner, and then put damsels. And then finally I got to like a quick option there. And then when you've got all of the quick options here, you could just put like a phone there, and I could phone the fools, I could phone the contacts, I could phone the damsels. Anyway, basically, it's to show that you can explore quickly, you can rub it out quickly. It doesn't have to be on tools, it doesn't have to be on anything. You just want lots of ideas, and you want people to be looking at what the elements are of the Android platform, and then kind of innovating within them together. So this is that's how I would do it. But I'm going to show you how to technically use just the drawings and just taking photos of the drawings to make your wireframes. I mean, you don't need special tools. What I do is I'll take a photo of a whiteboard, and then if you've got Photoshop, and I use Photoshop, or you could use the GIMP as well, and I'll just tell you to do the same thing. You put the levels on either side. So here, for those not familiar with Photoshop, is all of the extremes of color and the tones within the picture. And I just take out all the things which are not extremes of color, all the grays and stuff like that. So I'm left with something which is like really extreme. It's like just black and white. And then from there, you can select those everything which represents the color values by selecting in the channels. Select RGB, and that will highlight all your wires. Press it will highlight all the white. Press delete. It will get rid of all the white. And then I have this kind of picture of phones. So I don't draw the phones. I take this scribble, and then I put it on top of the phones. So I just scribble, put it on top of the phones with all of the white removed. And then I have I just put it like this. So the next steps are to make lots and lots of these wires. So what we just did with Mr. T, I would put these touch points through different parts of the app. So I would number each of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I might have like 100 wireframes, and on every touch point, I haven't done it here, I would put a number beside the hand to show which phone we were going to. So wait a minute, I want to show you an example. Here's some. So this one actually has a dashboard, and you can break up the stuff that you need into like nice big chunks, nice hittable chunks, and put the numbers on them so that you can you know where they're going to go when you click on them. And we just want to be able to explain the process, the user journey through the application. So a lot of people aren't going to understand what this application does. And when we're working with our clients for the first time, we want to excite them to how usable this application is going to be, how amazing this application is going to be, how easy it is, the interactions to touch it. So we actually put it down, and I kind of, those user can do this, user can do this to achieve this. That's what all of these represent. if you've got a successful wireframe, it should be very clear that the user can click here to do this, to do this, to achieve this. So we used all of those situations to make sure that we could go through the application, add your, so this application, for people who don't know it, is it just looks through your phone, finds out who the music that you listen to are, and then subscribes you to all of the artists in your local area who are playing. So whenever there's a concert, it notifies you there's a concert, and you can follow different locations, and you can see all the artists that are playing live in those locations. And this just goes through the process of finding the locations, getting a notification on different versions of Android, and showing you who's playing and things like that. And we went through many iterations of these wireframes and started developing, and I wish I had brought one of the apps until, of course, it's getting close to release time, it's getting close to crunch time, and they're like, okay, it's not funny now, let's get it skinned. But then you get the next little bonus, you get the surprise that your client has when they've spent all of this time looking at it really sketchy. And of course, it's not that. In reality, it's not much different to add the resources for the final mock-ups than it is to work on this. But the feeling that you get, the feeling that they have, they feel like it's a million miles away from the final reality of the application, but it's not, of course. So we try and keep in this zone for as long as possible. But what I would say is that when you're designing your wireframes for your application, keep sketching, and try and push to use as many elements of the platform as possible. Sit with like just a printout of all of the available elements. Make sure that you're familiar with the popular applications which are doing what you do already. Make sure that you've checked out, like in Android, AndroidNiceties.com, Android design patterns to show you what you can use. Go through them all, check out all the competition, make sure that you're at least chunking information as good as them, and then just copy, steal, and then move it around a bit and work from there. That is really me.